I'm making this video just as an excuse to talk about a few different photography topics.
You have entered the Prism Atomic.
Here are a few updates that relate to my film photography, because I haven't talked about my film photography quite as often as I have my photography relating to my Fujifilm gear. So I've been really just enjoying the manual focus film cameras lately. If you watched my recap video of 2020, you know that my most used film camera of that year was the Canon Elan 7, which is an autofocus camera, one of the later film cameras that was released by Canon. But like I said, I've been really enjoying manual focus, old school type 35mm cameras, including this version of the F1. And side note, the naming of this F1 is confusing for a lot of people. I see a lot of people identifying this one as the F1N. This is actually the new F1, and that's according to Canon's Camera Museum website. And this one is the F1N. So just this interesting bit of information, because I was getting confused there for a while when I would watch one video and they would call it the F1N and then another one would call it the new F1. Not that it really matters, but regardless, this is one of the cameras I've been really enjoying shooting with lately. I love the little grip that it has on the side, build quality, and just everything about it. I will make a video about this someday. I just haven't got that out and released yet. But another camera I just recently got, and I haven't shot with it yet, I just literally got it over the past few days, is the Nikon F3. This is a camera I've owned before, actually, but it was nowhere near in the shape that this one's in. And I just got rid of it at the time that I was selling a handful of gear to invest in a specific lens or camera. I can't remember what it was at the time. But I always knew I wanted to revisit an F3, but when I did, I wanted something that was in much better shape, something that I could feel comfortable with keeping for a very long time. And this one's in great shape. Like I said, I haven't shot with it yet, this specific copy of it yet, but I will soon. I'm going to load some film in it this week and see how it goes. I've been using the E-series lenses on the other Nikons I have right now. So I have the 50mm 1.8 E-series and the 28mm 2.8 E-series lenses. The E-series lenses are great value, great lenses for affordable prices, and still have really good build quality. But I'm looking forward to shooting with the F3 a lot, and I'm curious to do like a informal comparison of these two cameras, the F3 and the new F1. Maybe I'll make a video about that, but I'm not making any promises on videos right now, because I made some promises on videos last year that I never got around to making. So I will try to make a comparison video, but I know for sure I will talk about those cameras individually, because they're both great, and I cannot wait to shoot with the F3 soon. I shoot almost entirely black and white when I shoot film, and for the past year, I would say I've been shooting pretty much all with HP5, with few exceptions. I had a few rolls of T-Max and Tri-Ax, and I still have one roll of T-Max 400 that I got to shoot. So I'm shooting through that. I'm shooting through the stock I have, but HP5 is the one I'm just investing my money and time into more. And one big reason is price. This is either $5.99 a roll or $6.99 a roll, depending on where I buy it. And all the Kodak films are between $9 and $12 a roll, in that range. So that's a significant price difference per roll that adds up to a lot of money when you're shooting a lot of rolls per year. I think a lot of you that have communicated with me about shooting film, a lot more of you shoot color on film than I do. But if you do shoot black and white, what's your black and white film stock of choice currently? Not necessarily what's your favorite, because I think if I were to pick my favorite still is 400, T-Max 400. but like I said, I can't justify the price difference. And I really love the HP5 film too. So anyways, this is my current film of choice, and I'm just curious to see what you guys are shooting with, and especially if you are shooting black and white like I am, what's your current black and white film stock of choice. One thing I've been doing this year, even though we're only a few weeks in, I've been trying my best to take better documentation about the film photography stuff I do, to take as much notes as I can so I can remember at least some details of each film roll that I shoot. I know there are like field notes books and stuff that have really detailed layouts pre-printed so you could fill in all the camera settings that you shot, sometimes per shot and per roll, whatever, very detailed. But what I found is that when I'm out, especially when I'm out shooting street photography, I'll never reach into my pocket, even to pull out my phone to take notes while I'm shooting. Rarely. Most of the time, my best opportunity to take notes on a roll of film is after I shot the whole roll, or at least after I'm done shooting that day. So it's finding that balance between leaving yourself enough information to remember, but not going too far that you're slowing yourself down, sitting there writing every little thing and missing opportunities to shoot if it's a situation like street photography. Landscapes are different. Landscapes, you're taking your time a lot more, and you're setting up one frame that takes a long time, and I think you can be more specific, and sometimes you need to be more specific on all the decisions you made. Anyways, so what I'm using for note taking are just these little sketch pads from Hahnemühle, and they really are more designed for like drawing, for like sketch. When you're traveling, you can do sketches and whatnot. But I love taking notes on books with really thick paper, and this has really nice thick paper, so I can use really dark and thick ink, and it won't bleed through very much, if at all. So what I'm doing is I'm keeping, I don't have the fronts labeled yet, but I'm keeping one small notebook, and I'll probably finish the notebook before the end of the year, so I'll probably have to get at least one more. But one small notebook where I take some general notes for each roll of film I shoot. So this is 2021 roll 4 and 2021 roll 5. And I just take the general notes of the camera, the lens, the film stock, and the subject matter of what I shot, what I was thinking, some of the strategy for that roll. What's helped is I've been trying to shoot a complete roll of film on one camera and one lens, not change lenses per roll during a roll and things like that to change too many variables. That's just been working for me because it with that strategy combined with these notes, I can really progress quicker by studying the things I did, remembering the things I did, and then looking at the film negatives and having notes to go with that. The other book that I'm keeping is the equivalent of that book, but on the development side. So since I shoot mostly black and white, I develop almost everything I shoot. So this book is for the development side. So every roll that I document in this book, on the shooting notebook, I'm documenting on a film developing notebook. So this is roll 4, T-Max 100. I shot it at box speed, and I developed this roll and roll 5 in a stand development method with rod and all, with 1:100 solution for 75 minutes. So I'm going to do this for each roll, just like I'm doing the shooting notebook for each roll. And then when I'm done with them, I'll pair them together along with my sheets of negatives in a binder or folder somewhere. So that's something I haven't been doing really for years. I mean, I have notes, I have things that are scattered, notes here and there, negative sheets here and there, some binders scattered and whatnot. What I found is if I set up an organization method that's too detailed, too complex, at some point I lose energy to follow through on it. So like I said, I have to find that balance of organized approach and simplicity, something that I can execute regularly. So in terms of my film photography, note taking and journaling, this seems to be doing okay. One note about this is that I don't always have to have the book in my pocket, and that's definitely one of the liberating approaches about this, is that if I'm out shooting a couple hours and all I have is my camera and maybe my smartphone, I can go sit down in a coffee shop and pull up an app on my smartphone, essentially type in the general notes that I know I'm gonna need, but then I will transfer them to here, even if I do have a digital copy. Because my goal is, if I lose all my digital devices or the internet or whatever, I have an analog copy of my notes and thoughts on my analog photography. So I like that thought process. I like that idea of having the analog notes combined with the analog film itself. So that's just something I wanted to share, that I'm in the process of practicing, and I'm going to tweak the system a little bit here and there. But if you guys have any method of taking notes on film rolls as you're shooting, let me know. I think it's cool to get some tips from anyone. So speaking of developing film, I haven't really talked in detail about my film development method. One of the reasons is that there are a ton of YouTube videos, really good ones, about developing film. So I don't know what unique information I have to offer, but maybe I do and I just don't know it. Maybe there's something I can say or share that might connect with some people. So I will find a way to share my information, even if I just read the different methods that I use, because I only use pretty much two development chemicals and essentially two different approaches to develop my black and white film. So that being said, is there anything specific in terms of developing film, black and white specifically for me, since that's what I do, that you want to know, that you're curious about, or maybe that you're having trouble with, that maybe I can try to help out with, because I've gone through a lot of the common obstacles and challenges of developing black and white film. And some of them I've learned specifically what causes them. Sometimes it's a sort of a crapshoot on what's causing some problems. So sometimes they get fixed without you realizing what you did to fix them. But let me know if there's any questions that you have that maybe I can help out with, or anything you want to see me talk about or hear me talk about, I mean. So that's it for this video. It's probably kind of a long one, but oh well. I just want to do some more of these, or talk about some random photography things and dip into film photography here and there a little more, since I don't film myself developing film all the time, or I don't have an easy way to film myself doing darkroom prints. I'm still figuring that out. Other than sharing just images, I don't have a lot of ways to share my film photography journey with you quite yet. So I'm dipping into that, trying to figure out different ways to talk to you about film photography. So let me know if there's anything you want to know, and keep an eye on the channel, because after this video, today or tomorrow or the next day, there's going to be another Fujifilm film simulation recipe that I post on here. So keep an eye on that. And if you haven't already, please consider subscribing. Thanks again, and I'll talk to you soon.